All right, welcome to another video today. It's Math Magical Math Magic with Jen, and we're going to tackle Egyptian numerals. And before we can do that, we have to first talk about expanded form. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, what number system do we use today? Our system today is called the Hindu-Arabic system. The system was created in India, and it started to migrate towards the Arab world, and it became really popular starting in the 6th and 7th century and continued into the 12th century. So we give dual credit to Hindu, India, and Arabic regions. Base 10 is our system, and it refers to having 10 as a base and going through all the integer exponents. So as you can see down here, we've got 10 to the 0, that equals 1, 10 to the first, that's 10, 10 to the second is 100. So this is ones. There we go. Tens. We're getting there. Hundreds. I'll only do one more. Thousands. So that's how we get all of our place values. All right. So before we can talk about Egyptian numerals, we have to first talk about expanded form. So expanded form of a number means that it's written in number form that has been separated by its place value. So as you can see here, the idea is we take 37 and that 3 is actually a 30 and 7 is in the 1 spot. So we have 37. 465, we would separate into the place value of the 4 is representing 400. The 6 is representing 6 tens or 60, and the 5 is 5 ones. So you'll notice down here we have a nice little chart. So this can be really helpful for young students that need a bit of help to know how to assign values. So that 4 is under the 100. So there we go, 400, 600 to 10, 65 ones. Okay, and as you can see, this chart's pretty large. So you could do lots of examples back to back. So if we wanted to do, for example, 872, this would help students realize that it's 800 plus 70 plus 2. Okay, so why do we need expanded form? Great question. In order to look at Egyptian numerals and how did the Egyptians write numbers, we have to use first base 10, and second, we have to have it in expanded form in order to use the hieroglyphs. So just so that you're aware, from the little research I've done, they did have different symbols depending on what era you're looking at, but these were sort of the most common that are at least currently published. So here we've got the 1 uses the symbol of a stick or a single stroke. The tens, it looks like an upside down horseshoe, but it's called a heel bone. Hundreds, called a coil of rope. To me, I just call it a swirl. The thousands is a water lily or lotus, but I always call it Pac-Man on a stick because that's what it looks like to me. We get a little creepy here in that the 10,000s is a bent finger. I will admit that when I go to draw these myself, I usually just kind of make it look like a hockey stick because I'm lazy. And then tadpoles or frogs is 400,000, and sticking to the lazy, mine looks kind of like a raindrop with an eye. And then as far as millions go, you can do whatever you want for man with both hands raised. So however you'd like to draw that. If you just want to do a stick figure, can I even do a stick figure is the question. Possibly. Wow, that's just, yeah. We'll let that go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to practice using these, and how it works is that, as you can see up here, if you want to write the number 20, you would need 2 tens. So 2 tens would be 2 heel bones. So this is what 20 would look like. If you wanted to write 50, guess what? You get to write 5 of those. Now, you can write them straight across. You can stack them in a creative way. As far as we can tell, there's no rhyme or reason at this point, okay? So you can have some artistic license to decide how you'd like to draw those. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna practice a few. So our first example that I just wanna walk you through. So if you want to write 2,371 in Egyptian numerals, you would need 2,000. So here's 2 of our thousands. Here's our 300. And and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, fine. 70 and then 1. Okay, by the way, we are currently in the year 2024. So if you're curious what that would look like, so what you would want your students to think about first is that we have 2000, 20, and 4. So 2000, we need 2 of these. So, oh, can I sneak it in? I think I can. All right, so there's 2000. We don't need any of the hundreds. For the 20, we would need 2 of those heel bones. And for 4, we need 4 of those 6. There you go. All right. As you can see, you can have bigger numbers. So 10,000, you would need to add that bent finger. If we were going to change this to 310,524, okay? So we've already got the 10,524. The 3, so 100,000 was the tadpole, which to me looks like a raindrop with an eye. Great. All right. Cool. So you can have students write numbers in Egyptian numerals. You can have them translate. So here, again, they would translate that here we've got 3,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 3. And then have your students just squish them together. So this is currently expanded form. We want it to go to standard form. So 3,563 would be our answer. Awesome. Okay. We'll do one more. What the heck? So we've got 2 finely drawn frogs. So that would be 200,000. We've got the bent fingers, which are 10,000, so that's 30,000. And then it looks like we've got 5 of those lilies. If I squish those all together, 235,000. Okay. All right, awesome. So what could you do with this in a classroom, right? Elementary education, how could you play with it? So one of the things that I've played around with is creating a worksheet with facts. So you could find some different facts about ancient Egypt. You could look at heights of particular pyramids or statues, years that a pharaoh ruled, population of Egypt at that time versus currently. You name it, you could totally do it. Also, if you're into art, you could, instead of using our little stick figure symbols, you could collage with images. And there's no reason why you couldn't change it. Maybe you decide that you don't like the bent finger. Maybe just throwing it out there. So maybe instead you use a different symbol, like a shoe or a hand or a flower. So you guys could decide as a classroom, maybe you have a vote on it of what symbol they'd like to use if you want to create your own Egyptian numerals and symbols and work as a classroom and go with it. Also, talking about being creative, you could write them vertically or horizontally. So when I say vertically, earlier when I wrote 2024, I mean, you could kind of like stack it instead. We are doing our own thing. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect the history, but it was a long time ago, and maybe we want to kind of shake it up and try something new, okay? We're still honoring some of the old. You could also, if you want to do this for like an open house project at your classroom, you could take some paper, have them write down maybe their birth date, and make the paper look old. I mean, sky's the limit, okay? I hope that you think that these Egyptian numerals are kind of interesting and fun. Maybe you decide that you want to use them. And I hope you have a great time with them. With that, I'm going to see you next time when we tackle a new topic. So until then, have a good day.